Happy Monday and welcome to Mental Health Monday. Let me, I gotta make the live visible to all so that your comments can show up. So go ahead and check in with your green hearts, public, boom. So now when you make your comments, we can identify who made the comments, and that'll be absolutely good. Welcome to the light room. Welcome to the light room. Listen, I don't know. The bi-weeklies are just seems like forever before I see y'all again. And then too, just to check in, welcome to the Light Room. If this is your first time here, I hope it's not your last time. We meet here bi-weekly in the social media space to educate, empower, and equip the Black and Brown communities with the knowledge, skills, tools, and resources to advocate for their mental health. Here in the Light Room, we want to make mental health conversations real, relatable, and not only that, we want to add resources. It's one thing to sit around and talk about what's going on. It's another thing to do something about what's going on. Right. So bi-weekly, there are superstars and experts that come into this same space and share space with me. And they also share space and resources with you. And tonight, right? Right before we're gonna call this like the pre-Mother's Day. Right before Mother's Day, I have a beautiful mother that's gonna come in and we're just gonna have a real talk conversation, right? We know that mental health is still relatively taboo in the Black and Brown communities, but the Light Room exists to continue to eat away at that stigma so that no matter where you are, what you're doing, if you need to talk about your mental well-being and the well-being of somebody that you love, know, or care about, then you will know how to do that. So welcome to the Light Room. I am your host, Marquita Dorsey. You can call me Coach Quita D in this space. I am delighted to have you here. Go ahead and share this live with your family and your friends, right? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if, and I know I've been a little delayed in my posting. Life is really happening over here. So there are some other things to kind of focus on too, but I don't know if y'all are getting my notifications, okay? And if you are getting my notifications, come on back to this space, okay? Come on back to this space where this conversation is real, relevant, relatable, and we have resources that you don't have to pay nothing but your own phone bill for, your internet bill, however you view us, right? Because remember, the lives are no longer available by replays. You will have to get the follow-ups from my YouTube page. So if you're not following me on YouTube, you might want to do that too. All right, so you have to be in these conversations live. You can ask your questions here to get immediate answers, okay? And then you could be live and on the spot, right? Have your comment highlighted just like this. All right. We'll know who's in the light room. Good evening, beautiful. We are so happy to have you in this space. So go ahead and check in with your green hearts. We are live here in the light room. My guest is already in the green room. I told y'all we fancy over here. We now have a green room for the light room. So go ahead and share this live. Get your people on the live. Let them know the light room is streaming live right now on Facebook. If you are a mother, if you know any mothers, if you're an auntie, if you're taking care of yourself and taking care of children, whether you gave birth to them or not, you need to be in this conversation. I want you in this conversation because I want to be in this conversation. Okay. I told y'all I could write a list just by what I see. Okay. Just by what I see. And I just wonder, how does she do all of that? But she do it so gracefully, so beautifully. And I want to have this conversation with her so you and I both can know if parenting, they say parenting don't come with a manual. I kind of beg to differ, but hey, we ain't talking about that tonight because I'm not the expert in the room tonight. I'm just guiding the conversation. So go ahead, check in with your green hearts. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her into the light room. Okay, girl, because I was about to make some phone calls or something. But my mama here. Hey, my brother in the house. Danielle's in the house. Welcome, 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 y'all. Go ahead and share this live on your Facebook page. Share it in your family groups by text message or messenger, wherever people are. Come on back to this Lightroom space. Another thing that I don't want to happen is for the conversation involving mental health, mental wellness to become, a deaf ear conversation. Y'all, people are having experiences. People are experiencing life. Hence the quote, life be lifing. Okay. And there are people who are experiencing life be lifing moments and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go to get the support. They don't know where to get the help. They don't know how to walk through the process, right? I know one thing, everybody's not going to go to therapy. That's okay. Everybody don't have to go to therapy, but everybody has to have skills and tools and resources to advocate for their own mental health. If you are a parent, it is your responsibility to be well so that you can live well, so that you can teach well, so that your children can grow well. Libra is in the house. So welcome to the Light Room. Go ahead and share this live. I'm going to go ahead and pull her onto the stage so we can get this conversation started. You don't want to miss 1 minute of this conversation. Okay. So go ahead and share it. Try one more time, Leroy. They're going to be green next time. Okay. One more time. I'm going to go ahead and bring her to the stage so we can have this conversation. Share this live. Listen, if you have questions, post your questions in the comment section. If she says something and when she says something that you agree with, drop some hearts, drop some fire. Talk to us because we will talk back. All right. So let me welcome her into the Light Room. Welcome, 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 welcome. Woohoo!
Thank you for having me.
I am so elated to have you in this space. Listen, I always tell people how I met the guests, and then I allow the guests to introduce themselves with whatever information that they're willing to share with those that are in the space. And so, I don't remember the initial space that we met, but I know it was on the Facebook social media space, right? And the baby story, your daughter's story, that's what happened. I think that's what it was. I don't know. We connected on Facebook, guys, and we're still connected on Facebook. And very soon we're going to connect in real life. Again, life be lifing, guys.
But definitely gonna make it happen.
We're definitely going to make it happen. And I'm just also led to believe that somewhere we might be in the same family. So the other irony is that she shared both sides, right? Yeah. There are parts of this life that share both sides of my family name, right? So her last name is Shepherd, but she has family members whose last name is Dorsey. I'm telling you, the world is small. We might be cousins. So that's how we met, because we might be cousins. And we'll leave it right there. But I met her on this social media space. We actually, the first time we saw each other was at the concert, right? The Maverick City, was it? When Maverick City came? Yeah. Yep, Kirk Franklin and Maverick City concert. And so we met there, and it was beautiful to see her and her girls there. And she noticed me from Facebook. And so that was the first time I ever felt like famous or whatever. I was like, oh. So no, and I'm telling to those of us who are in the space, you never know who's watching. You never know who sees you and who's going to see you out in the street. So be mindful of what you're doing and what you're saying. But again, we've continued to stay connected in the social media space. I've followed her story. I've looked in a little bit from what I can see in her life. And so part of that is why I have invited her into this space. She has an amazing story, again, from what I see. And I allow her to share how she balances that story. But this is how I met author ShaKay Shepherd. So I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all.
Well, good evening. My name is ShaKay Shepherd. I am originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I've been here in San Antonio for about 2 years. I am a mother of 4, ages 23, 20, 14, and 10. I am a bonus mom to 5 children, and I am currently engaged to be married in August of this year, and I'm totally looking forward to it. I'm a homeschool mom, a caregiver, a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. I mean, I could keep going with the list of names, a cook, you know. Just,
the list is there.
All the women know. I have many titles, so.
Well, thank you for the work you do at home and for the work that God is about to allow you to do in this earth. So thank you for being in this space, and thank you for being willing to share in this conversation we're about to have. And so, like I said, it started with the way that we met, the way that I saw you. You introduced us to your daughter's story. Mm-hmm. And so with respect to her life, how can we open up this conversation with sharing that? Because I know that, that's a big part of things that you have to work with and have going on as well. So how can we introduce that part of the conversation to everybody else that does not know Trinity's story?
Well, honestly, okay. Back in 2020, I'm sure she doesn't mind me sharing, and my prayer is that you can get her on one of your shows, in the near future, so she can really elaborate and talk more about her own story.
Yeah.
But back in 2020, my daughter was in the army, and she was stationed in Killeen. Her ex ended up shooting her, and she became paralyzed. So she is now dependent in a wheelchair. And I like to say temporarily, because we know that God can fix all things. No matter what them doctors have told us, we strongly believe that one day my child will get up and walk to me again.
That's it.
Um, and so with that, she got, medically discharged from the military. Um, and a lot of strong and tough decisions had to be made that prompted us to move here to San Antonio, where she receives great care from the VA here. I have to give them their props. The Army, they did exceptionally well with making sure that all the T's were crossed, all the I's were dotted. I didn't have to worry about anything. The VA has been phenomenal. A lot of people have issues with the VA. For us, it's been a great experience. So we decided to make San Antonio our home, which is what, like I said, brought us here to Texas. So
That's good. That's good. And thank you for sharing that. And yes, we believe God for healing. We've heard about, and some people have seen the impossible. So, and we've seen the work that she's put in, right?
oh,
With
she's
her physical therapy and everything. So, hey, we'll be there for it. So, and shout out to the VA, right? You're right. The VA can get a bad rep, man. The folks be getting a bad rep, but just like anything else, just like anything else, when you're dealing with humans, there's a human experience that comes with that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Right. Yeah. And so shout out to the Veteran Affairs who's taking care of your baby and so many other veterans. And shout out to the veterans. Thank you for your service. So what I want to jump into, right? The conversation of, and I titled it Balancing Life, Behind the Scenes of Balancing Life. Again, because of what I see, according to your post and the information that you do share publicly, it's a lot. I remember one girl back home, she homeschooled her daughters. And I think that was the first person that I ever met who actually did that and did it successfully, right? These girls graduated, they completed their homeschooling program at high levels. They had a social life. They had the life as if they went to public school, charter school, or private school. Okay. And so with COVID, it kind of pushed some other parents into that homeschooling space. So if you can kind of help us through that journey, has it always been homeschooled, or since you've been here, have you homeschooled your children?
Well, I'm glad you did ask that, because a lot of people think that COVID was the reason for me homeschooling, and it absolutely had nothing to do with it. In fact, when this happened to Trinity, that's what opened up the door for homeschooling my girls. I also was paying attention to how the public schools were going in the direction that they were going. I, as a parent, was not okay with it. And so I decided I was just going to homeschool them. Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't. But I'm thankful for the groups that are out there in place to help guide us into starting a homeschool. And by the way, shout out to the San Antonio Black homeschool community, because baby, if it wasn't for them, I probably would have gave up a long time ago.
That's
So,
it.
yeah.
Come on, community.
Oh yes, definitely. I have a community. We're surrounded by amazing people, and everybody is always willing to help, each other. And we get the kids together. Like you said, it's almost as like trying to keep them, around each other, to keep that socialization going. So yes, I definitely, our homeschool community is phenomenal.
So how, if a parent is interested,
Mhm.
because I've had a conversation with some parents, even family members who may be considering homeschooling their children, but it's like, well, I can't teach them. I don't know the lessons. What does it look like on the inside of homeschooling?
So honestly, what it looks like, you do have to put in the work. That's number one. You have to put in the work. That's if you go clock in at a job, your employer expects you to do the work, right? With your kids, you got to do the work, and they are important. That should be your first. I'm gonna say your first priority should be your children and their education, their well-being. So you do have to put in the work. You definitely want to research, get involved again with the groups in your community and see what's out there. I mean, we have everything accessible by electronics nowadays. So you can go and click anything about homeschooling on Facebook, and a plethora of things are going to pop up for you to, take a look at. There's so many different curriculums out there. You just got to find the right one that works for your family. Because I'm going to tell you, I spent thousands of dollars, I'm not even exaggerating, trying to find the right curriculum for me and my girls. And in all honesty, it changes. Even in the middle of the year, we could be using a curriculum, and then all of a sudden, if they get bored with it or something, then guess what? We're going to stop using that one, and we might freestyle it a little bit. YouTube is phenomenal with resources, because we use, Math with Mr. J, and I really like that program. PBS, PBS.org, phenomenal. It's so many things out there. The main thing is people have to put in the work. A lot of people, what I see in our groups and stuff, they come on there with questions and stuff, and it's okay, because that's, you want to ask questions, but sometimes I feel like people want us to just give them things, and that's not really, how it is. You got to put in the work.
Got to put in the work, man. I love hearing how intentional, right, you all are. Shout out to the homeschool community, right? I love how intentional you all are about being a part of your children's learning experience. I went to public school and I don't have a problem with it, but I also admire those families who have given themselves, or who have the opportunity to live in the duality, right, of having the home life, having the home space, educating their kids, and not just in a building. I see some families, on social media, they travel around the world, right? Their children learn about different countries from being in different countries, if you got that kind of budget, But if not, there are still activities, like you said, and resources for where you live and where you are. And then putting the work in. Being a parent, and I was telling somebody this earlier today, it has been one of I don't know if I've prayed and cussed more than I have for any other reasons than being a parent. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Right. I would not trade it for anything. I love being a parent, because one of the ways that I've learned that God teaches me things is through the eyes of a parent, and being a parent. He shows me how to be gentle with my son, myself, and other people, and how he's been gentle with me. And then also how to be firm.
Yeah, that too.
Right? So how to be firm when things are going on. So I appreciate, and this is, of course, not no knock to public schools or anything like that, but the way things are changing, I love the accountability and the ownership that, it takes to homeschool your child or children.
Yes. Yes.
So kudos to that. And so with that, right, let's talk about mama. And then we're going to go on up, because, you get married soon. You finna add something else to the plate. You write books, you read curriculums, you take it, like you're doing it all. But mama, mental health, and I had my son when I was 18 years old. I don't know if it was because I was young. Well, it may have been because I was young. I had a lot of community support. I was still with my mother. So my parents were available. My son's father's parents were available. So there was a lot of support. I knew about postpartum, but I didn't really see it or hear about it or anything. But it's so prevalent now for these young mothers. And a lot of it, some people don't know how to balance, right? Right. You got this new baby. Your life has changed in ways you can't even imagine. It's all overwhelming. Your body is trying to heal and get back to its natural state. A lot is going on. And so here you are. You say you're a mother of four, doing all of these things. How do you keep yourself sane, girl? How do you manage your mental health?
Honestly, it's so funny because I was just talking to my fiance about it. I said, I still don't have this all figured out. But what I had to do is I really had to let go of people that were draining me. Whether it was financially, because I have people that will contact me even to this day asking for money and stuff, but I don't hear from them any other time. So I had to cut that off. Or whether it's mentally, people calling me with their problems all the time, but I can't call them with mine, or they want to shortstop me if I do have an issue, but they expect for me to be available to them all the time. So I had to start there. I had to cut out all the drainers. Um, and then I had to start going back to the things that I once loved as a little girl. I know sometimes I always say that I'm releasing the inner child in me. Sometimes when I make posts, I'll say that. And what I'm meaning by that is once upon a time, I used to love writing, whether it was poetry or little short stories or things like that, which writing my book, it's taken me a little bit to get it done because procrastination I deal with. Okay. I'm going to say that publicly. I deal with procrastination. However, I have a phenomenal coach that she really stays on me. Oh my gosh. So I got back to writing. I got back to, journaling is writing. I love nature. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm adventurous. I love everything about it. So I find myself going out to nature parks, to the state parks, to the ocean because I love water. Anything with the sound of water, I absolutely love it. Um, Reading, I love to read. And I just started taking that time for myself, whether once a month, especially once a month. If I can't do nothing else, once a month, I set that a day aside for just me. And I'm blessed and I am thankful that I have someone that I am with now that understands the importance of me taking that time because I didn't have that at first. He understands the balance it takes for me to stay sane. Okay. So, and then my children, they're all about mama taking her time because if I'm constantly filling up their cups, mine's is running dry. Who's filling mine up?
That's it.
So I really had to, like I said, I had to sit down and I had to say, okay, I have to do this for myself because I felt myself breaking down. And it's not healthy for my children. It's not healthy for my relationship. And it's definitely not healthy for me because I battled with high blood pressure. And a lot of that was because I was taking on more than what I should have been. So I definitely had to make that time for myself.
Mamas and even fathers, right? Because there are some fathers out here who have, stepped into their role of being with the children because the mothers are at work. Take time for yourself. I heard a guy say on Instagram the other day that one thing that his mother did, I don't know if he said she did it wrong, but that maybe she shouldn't have done was she devoted all of her time to her children. And so some of the thing with the generations, you have generations of parents where their children were their life. And some people will tell you that my baby is my life. My kids are my life. They are my everything. I understand that notion, right? You love them. You're grateful for them. You want to protect them and all of that. But it's like you said, if you don't learn to have boundaries and create boundaries, number one, your children won't learn, right? And then you'll give overly to everybody else, and then you will show up empty. Those children are going to grow up. They're going to become adults, and they're going to have their own life, and they're not going to answer your calls, and they're going to call you back 3 days later. And then what? I gave you all my time, all my life. And that's how, we get into all these damaging mother, daughter, father, son relationships. We haven't learned to set the boundaries. We haven't learned to do this in a healthy manner. And so again, I admire your strength and your tenacity and your perseverance in the way that you're doing things, or at least in the way that I see you're doing things. That's why I wanted us to be here having this conversation, so we
Yeah.
can talk about the behind the scenes. And I have this 3-part advocacy plan that I like to touch on that works for me, right?
Okay.
And you've touched on some of it as part of your mental health plan as well. But I want to go back and kind of break it down. So the first part of that being the power of words. And I noticed that you said that you write,
Mm-hmm.
and then did you say you read books as well? Yeah, so you write and you read books. So what about affirmations? How else are you using the power of words to build up your mental and emotional capacity?
Honestly, at one point I did do the whole affirmations, post them on the wall and things like that. But if you can see behind me, I have a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
And so on my vision board, it has different things on here that I guess you could say align with affirmations, because I have stuff on here like never give up, power by purpose, just different things that I have on my board, even on my little sticky notes. So sometimes I will take and say certain things to myself if I find myself in situations. Um, but I'm not really a big affirmation person. I hope y'all don't get me out there in the world, but I'm not. I'm not even gonna sit here in front like I am. I got my vision board. That's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, yeah. And that's fine, because you got this positive psychology thing, or just, and some people will just say all the good things, say all the good things, but if you don't truly receive the things you're saying, or if you're using the positive psychology or the positive talk instead of doing the actual work, then you're not properly affirming anyway, right?
Right.
But I know when I think of power of words, it's um the core beliefs and the thoughts that we have about what we're experiencing in life, how we're experiencing life, what we're telling ourselves about the experience. And so, with that core beliefs, what are some power words that you tell yourself? Because I mean, some days probably got to be way longer or harder than others. So, what are some of those things that you tell yourself to keep going?
Oh, some of the things I may say to myself is, well, some stuff I probably can't say on here because I kind of talk to myself like I'm the, like, my own homegirl. So,
I feel it.
um, but I definitely tell myself that I got this, that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That I know I speak to God. No disrespect to anybody out there who does anything differently, but I always say to him, like, Lord, I know you hear my cries. Um, I need you to direct my order my steps. There's just different things that I tell myself. It just depends, honestly, on the situation. Um, I have a prayer closet that I go into. I'm not that faithful in that because I don't want my babe getting on here and being like, when the last time you've been in there and stuff. But I do stuff like that when I have the time. And yeah, it's a lot of different things that I say to myself, but it definitely depends on that situation that I'm dealing with at that time.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. In the scripture, I'm like you. I'm a believer, and I don't tell people what to believe, how to believe, when to believe. But I am a
That
believer, and I'm
that part,
telling you, if I can't remember my own name, let me remember a scripture.
that part.
They definitely given life. Listen,
Yeah.
he said we read the Bible together, baby. We go listen.
Yes, we do. We do. And you know what? Shout out to my babes because we done came a long ways together. And
Look at
yes,
that.
we do that.
Come on,
And I'm
teamwork.
grateful.
Come on, teamwork. And I'm glad, you know what? I'm glad he put that in there, right? Because the other
Yeah.
thing, too, when I think about mental health and what we do in here and the purpose to continuously have these conversations in our community, family,
Yeah.
family is vital. That is where we create the people that we build up to become citizens that go out to be, movers and shakers in this world. So family is everything, right? And we can't choose the family we're born into. We
Man,
don't choose that. But
come
we
on.
get We get to take what we can take from that for the better of it all. And then we go out and even, do great work, greater works, or whatever we have to do. But family is so vital and so important. And again, that's another reason that having you in this space was important for me, because again, I see you handle a lot. And then I talk to mothers all the time, and it's a lot. It's overwhelming. And a lot of time when it's overwhelming like that, mothers feel like they're the only somebody kind of going through that. They don't have any help a lot of times, because some people move, in the groups that we're in, a lot of people said that they moved down here with no family. Right?
I don't have family here.
So you moved down here with no family?
I have no family here.
So what pointers would you give to anybody that's watching who's transitioned or who has moved to a different location and their family is not there?
You have to create that family.
I hope my auntie watching, because I'm talking to her.
Yeah, you have to create that family. For me, it's my homeschool community. I know we have a lot of different a lot of different groups here. You have to find people that will fit in your circle. And you have to create that rapport, that relationship with each other. Because I'm big on who I allow in my space. So I think my baby could tell you, not everybody could cross through these doors over here. I don't have no friends that really come over here. So if you come, count yourself lucky, okay? But you have to create that, because like I said, I'm from Tulsa, so that's like 9 hours away. My closest family member to me lives in Harker Heights, and that's maybe 2.5 hours away. But as far as in San Antonio, I don't have family.
Wow, I'll be the first to tell you that's brave. Now I'm messing with my auntie, but I've moved the few places I've moved, I had family there. So I had my little crutch and I had my little support. Yeah. And so again, my heart goes out to people who transition to different spaces, and it's a challenge because some people, they do it and they thrive. And, like you said, they easily transition into build their own community. They connect with people, and that's good. But then there are some who really, really haven't. Yeah, they don't have babysitters. They don't have,
Let me fix this. What?
They don't have friends. So, to anybody that's watching, right, here's an example of how to create your own system, your own family structure, because it's hard moving away from your family. I'm a family person. I got a really big family on both sides. And so moving away from my family, my immediate family wasn't the easiest. So thank you for sharing that. And so that would speak to my strength of community portion, that strength of my community, strength of community, because it's important. So how has that community that you built been resourceful and healthy for you since building it here in San Antonio, considering there's no family? Come on, friends.
Man, all my sister friends have, oh my God, they are amazing. My support system down here, I don't even know. Look, I don't even want to start crying on here, but they are amazing. Every one of them, oh God, since we moved here, have been so phenomenal. I don't care if it's calling with like to check on us or coming by and just showering us with love. And oh my God, girl.
I love the reaction. I love the reaction.
Oh my goodness. Every one of them, I could take something positive away from every single one of them. Oh, I think my biggest thing is that we are all striving for the same goals, which is, of course, raising our children, being productive women in society, being great wives, maintaining our mental health, along with all the things that we have to do. And each one of us play an intricate role in each other's lives on keeping each other on track. Like we have group chats, like we meet up, once a week. Everybody tries to meet up. Not always do we all get together every week. A lot of us just got together last night and we had a ball for one of our sisters' birthdays. And it's like little stuff like that. Like we take the time and we spend time with each other. Our kids, it's almost like we've been knowing each other all our lives, and none of us is really from here in San Antonio. But again, we created the family. But I am so thankful. I don't even want to start naming them because I'm scared I'm gonna leave off some names and then they're gonna be mad at me later. But man, they're phenomenal. That's all I can really just say. They're phenomenal. They actually help keep me sane a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're a very important part of the homeschooling and balancing my self-care at the same time. So yeah, you kind of got me with that one because I'm like, I wasn't ready for that. But just know if y'all watching, I love you ladies. And I thank y'all. So
look at that, right back at you. They say they love you too. He said, just say everybody, baby. I love it. I love that response because again, I'm not from here either. And when I moved to Memphis, I wasn't from Memphis, but I had to build community. I had family, but I wanted to also build my own community in the city.
Wow.
So, and I love your response.
Huh? I didn't know you wasn't from. I thought you were from Memphis this whole time.
Well, I mean, Memphis is always gonna be here. Memphis was a time like, I always tell people I grew personally and professionally in Memphis. I love me some Memphis. Okay. So, but I'm originally from Mississippi.
Oh, wow. Look, I just learned something about you tonight.
Yeah, I'm originally from Mississippi, but I came here from Memphis. So,
okay.
But yeah, and when I got there, when I went there this last time, it was my second time living in Memphis. Right. And so I really wanted to expand my horizons and build my own community. Shout out to my friends in Memphis, like who are still friends. Not my mom said, I said I'm from Mississippi. My mom said, nah, she from South. But shout out to my, my Memphis family, my Memphis friends that I met, and so out here in San Antonio, I have people that I call friends that I love that support me as well. I just have to do a better job of being outside. I don't know. San Antonio made me comfortable. This is like the most peaceful place I've ever lived in, like a personal peace. I love San Antonio for that.
That right there, the personal peace. That's what it is. You just said, and I couldn't figure it out because a lot of people don't like it here. But I'm like, I love it. It's a lot of things to do. It's the personal peace that you get.
I'm telling you, I came here. I knew my work was done in Memphis, and my cousin like, come down here. I came. I never thought about San Antonio, right? My coworker was like, Jason was like, don't go down there and become a Spurs. And I was like, what's a Spurs? Forgot all about the Spurs, right? And man, I came here, and since it's just, I've never felt it that way, and the people that I've met, thankfully have been nice. And that was the culture shock. So did you have a culture shock when you got met? It was a culture shock.
Still is, but yes. I know we here, but it's few far in between.
And every time I go somewhere, I'm like, hey.
Right. I'll be excited, girl. I'll be in the grocery store. I know they be like, this girl is crazy. What's wrong with her? Because I'll be smiling and my kids be like, Mama, there go another one of us. And I'm just like, I think I done rubbed off on them. So let me try to change how I say stuff now. It be that little one, that 10-year-old girl. But yes, it definitely was a huge cultural shock. But I will say every person that I have came across have been great people.
Yeah.
Not everybody, like I said, not everybody is meant to be in my space, but the politeness and things like that, I've had nothing but good, experiences. So yeah.
Yeah, shout out to San Antonio for that. I don't know what's in the air, but I appreciate it. And keep it that way. Don't come bother me. Don't come bother me. That personal peace that I found here, it is unmatched. Do not bother me. But so That's definitely what San Antonio has to offer. And like you said, people will say to me, "I don't, what you doing down there? I hate San Antonio. Ain't nothing to do." Listen, it is fine with me.
That
It is
part.
fine with me. So Lisa says, I try my best to build community. I really need to move from my city. Yeah, you know, home is always home, and you got the
Gonna
people
always
from
be there.
childhood and
Mhm.
college and all the things. When going outside of home and what's comfortable, you know, again, like we said earlier, it's not always easy leaving your folks and then meeting new people because you don't know people. You don't know what
Right.
their intentions are. You don't know what they
Mhm.
came from, if it's survival or, they really came from loving families and they want to share space. You just don't know. You just have to trust
That's
who you are
right.
and what the Holy Spirit shows you about people.
Yes.
So, but I encourage anybody who can, even if you don't leave the city you grew up in, I'd be led to believe about 2 cities up, you probably can meet some people that you ain't never met before. You know,
Yeah.
I
That's what
highly
I
encourage people.
doing. I moved from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, and I was there for what 15 years maybe, and then from Oklahoma City I left, and that's when we moved here. So I just moved the next major city over, and it was a big difference starting out. And then when this all happened, we came here, and we had to start over with meeting people and stuff. But you got to be able to get out and meet people, because some of y'all want people to just come to you. I've noticed that with a lot of people down here in San Antonio too. They think we just supposed to just come to them or whatever. And I'm just like, but you are what is it? Introverts? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
out and meet people sometimes. Or meet other
I
introverts,
agree.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the labels and the diagnosis and stuff. And we can live beyond diagnosis, and we can.
Yes.
I sure was thinking about you, not her talking about hey, 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 because I be fussing at my auntie, sure do. But we can live beyond the diagnosis and the labels, but we have to, expand ourselves, go outside. You're not gonna meet people if you don't go outside because Uber, DoorDash, Walmart, they don't have to see you. You can say, leave it at my door. They knock on the door and they gone by the time you get your groceries.
Right.
So if you're not going outside to see people, you're not going to meet people. And social media is cool and fine. It's a great way to start, just like with us.
Right.
It's a great way to start connecting with people, seeing who they are from that lens, from that perspective. And then from there, you still can decide if you want to see people. Because I met Olivia on Facebook, and we've met up because I think we're in a closer area, but we've met up at Starbucks and hung out a little bit. So I met a couple of ladies out here that I've met up with and hung out with. So you just gotta,
That's
and I
the
know
other
for me personally, it don't mean that I ain't really met nobody else.
and then it's so big. Like, this place is so big, and we are scattered. Because for me, we stay, oh gosh, where do we stay at? We stay far west. So I don't know
Um,
where you stay in connection with that, but it takes us a good 45 minutes to an hour to get to like Converse and shirts and all that over there.
that's
It
where
takes
I
us,
am.
oh, see, and it takes a minute for us to get over there. So that's probably another reason we ain't really met up like that.
It does. Yeah, the first thing you have to ask people what side of town you on before you
You
talk
sure
about
right
events
about
and
it.
all that. So we got to find a middle spot. We got to find a middle spot because things are very spread out. You can have a whole community, right over here in Live Oak, Converse, and then a whole nother city far
Oh,
west side.
yes. Yes, you're right about that. And we
Yeah, so
definitely do need to get together outside
we
of
will.
social media.
We will. I don't mind driving. And so like last year I drove for Kroger delivery. So I've been all over the city, even like Bandera, Floresville, I've been
We
all over
don't
San
know
Antonio.
yet. We back toward Bandera out there. So
Maybe I love me some Bandera. I'm telling you, when this rain get through showing out or whatever it's doing, I'm going out there. I love me some Bandera. My
yeah,
auntie don't like, but I love me some Bandera. Okay. See, and I just want to preface this conversation now, and we're gonna start wrapping it up, but I want to touch just a little bit on that love life, right? Because we need some hope. The girlies need hope, okay? The girlies need some hope out here. It's tough out here, especially in our city. We're here But like we said, we're all spread out. If you're not from here, or if you're not directly in that community, you could be here 10 years and still won't see, the man or the woman of your dreams, because they in Converse, you on far west side. You just never know. So, but I'm gonna ask, to share about love. How is love igniting all of these other things that you're having to balance and bring into your life, and the excitement, right? I love black love. Okay. I'm excited. I ain't got nothing against no other cultures, nobody, but I'm black. And I think it's so beautiful when I look in the mirror, or I look at the image of my family, myself, and it all mirrors me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about, black family. So give us some hope, girls. Tell us about the love. Tell us about
Well,
the love.
what do you want to know? Like, what? Okay, you got to tell me because I don't want too much. But
Yeah, we don't want to do too much. But what I want is, at our age and where we are in life, sometimes, and I'm in conversations and I hear conversations. There ain't no good men out here. We ain't gonna never fall in love. I seen one girl post, it broke my heart. I think she was 35. And she said she's just so afraid that she would grow old and never get married, never find anybody to love.
oh wow,
And she was 35. She don't have any children. It was tough, you know. So just sprinkle a little encouragement to the ladies about black love or just finding love.
good. You got to focus on yourself. You have to focus on you. Get yourself together. Honestly, that our way how we met, that would probably be a whole nother um show, okay, from the beginning. But I will say this: you got to focus on you, and if you are a believer like I am, you have to trust that God will bring you the right person. You're not gonna find them up in the club, okay? I'm gonna tell you that now. I mean, some of y'all might. Let me rephrase that. Some of y'all might. Hey, best of luck to you, best wishes, all that good stuff. But most of the time, you're not about to find them in the club, okay? You just gotta be in the right environment. Um, let me see. You definitely the environment you in, it does make a difference. How you carry yourself, because a lot of us have gotten prone to this all get it sexy and all this other stuff and twerking and things. A lot of men don't like that. I'm just keeping it honest. If some men do, but they probably prefer that more in private than they do in public. So some of y'all got to stop posting all this stuff on Facebook and what is it, TikTok, and there's so many platforms I can't even keep up. But you got to keep yourself somewhat conservative as well. And you just got to, like I said, you have to trust that in timing God will bring your Boaz to you. Don't rush it. Because not everything that glitter is gold, baby. I can tell you that. Not everything that glitter is gold. um but that kind of like touched me too, where she feel like she's never gonna get married and all that stuff. It's like, you can't,
Yeah.
the time frame, you can't rush God's timing. His timing is always going to be perfect. And you just, until then, focus on you.
Yeah, enjoy. Um, and thank you for sharing that. Like I said, I see the posts and the comments, and the TikTok trends where they allow you to be expressive like that. And I think that may have been what she was responding to. But it was a deep heartbreak and a deep grief in her comments, and you can just see it and hear it and read it. But I just want to encourage, just like you said, to the girlies that desire marriage. Um, Trust that God hears your prayer. And in that, right, another thing, we don't want to present ourselves as open for being chosen as a wife. Again, we at home on the couch. We're not going outside. We're not positioning ourselves in prayer or in posture to be in relationship. So it's a beautiful thing to see that you have found someone that comes in and supports the life that you have, makes it better. Y'all are able to share life together. Balance,
It's a balance, a healthy balance.
a healthy balance. And that's what we need. That's what the black family needs. And if we look at certain parts of history, that's what we used to have.
That part. It definitely. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what we used to have. I grew up that way. I grew up at home with a mama and a daddy, 3 meals a day, a snack and a clean home. That's what we had. So to the girlies, those of us that are still on the waiting list, God gonna always do his part. Always.
Yours.
So let's just make sure we're doing our part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we're doing our part. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. So, are there any final remarks, or is there any product, anything that you're working on that will cause people to connect with you in the social media space, or?
So I'm in limbo right now. Like you said, my book is I actually, when I get off of here, Coach Nina, if you watching, I'm gonna get on those edits. I promise you, I'm working on that. But yeah, so it's the edits are done and in, and so I have to go through that. I'm also working on my coaching stuff as well, and I'm getting ready to get back in school. So right now, I'm kind of in limbo. But if you guys want to follow me and continue on this journey with me on wherever God is taking me, because I'm trusting Him, I have learned to let go and honestly let God order my steps. You can you click my link and you can follow me, and then as time comes, I'll post this up on Facebook, and that's all I have for you right now.
Because look, life be life, and life is real. And that ain't always a negative connotation. Not for me, that life be life. Because for me, the life is life. It's not a bad thing. It's a lot going on. There are other pieces to this puzzle that I'm putting together. Just as you explained with yours. So connect on the space and follow the post when they're posted. But shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
When I come back one day, when you bring me back one day, I'm gonna have all this in order. We're gonna look back on this and be like, you remember that day when you said you was in limbo? And I'll be like, yeah, girl, I remember. I'm gonna have
now you're gonna be like, click the link. Click the link to get my book, click the link to get my merchandise, click the link to get my coaching course, all those things.
It's gonna happen. I'm trusting God. I'm trusting God.
All those things. Well, we need it, like I said, we need it in the community. I love that we are coming into places where we're trusting what God has put in us and we're giving it back to the community for the good of the community. So thank you for the work that you're doing in your home. Thank you for the work that you're going to do again in this earth. Thank you for sharing this space with us. Thank you for sharing life and your story. I put your fiance's comment back up there so we can end on that note. So thank you for allowing us this time to have this conversation with you.
Well, I appreciate you and all that you do, because I'll be watching on Mondays. And I'm glad that, God is using you to raise the awareness in the Black community for mental health, create this platform for so many people to be able to come on here and just be able to talk with you every Monday. And I am very excited to see where life is about to take you in the near future. So thank you.
Bless God for it. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you get back to that beautiful family of yours. We'll be in touch. I'll slide over to the far west side.
I'll come that way too. Just let me know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
All right, Lightroom. Behind the scenes of balancing life, okay? We can have all the things. That's an example of us having all the things, y'all, in good space, in good time, and in good people. She touched on my advocacy plan, the power of words, the benefits of nature, the strength of community. I'm telling you, do not try to do this by yourself. There's no need to do this by yourself. If you didn't come to a place, or if you don't have any friends where you are, or from your family, or whatever the case may be, build your village, build your community. She just showed you that it's possible. She just shared with you. Did you see the expression she had when I asked her about her community? Come on, friends. Come on, friends. And she don't have any family here. So don't let social media get your heart in a knot, in a bundle. My daddy used to tell me that the heart is a muscle. You have to exercise it. With love comes with a little bit of pain and rejection, but it also comes in abundance of great feelings, of great joy, of great emotions, and great people. Give yourself that opportunity to connect to greatness so that you can walk in the greatness that's within you. This has been Mental Health Monday. This is why we do what we do. Some people have questions like this and they don't know who to turn to for the answer. So I hope something that's been said tonight is able to help you. If you were thinking about homeschooling your children, there it is. Be willing to put the work in, but it is possible, right? If you're thinking about writing a book, you have a story to tell, or you have a story that you created. It don't always have to be people telling their life when you're writing books. Give people something funny to read. Give people something interesting. Massage the imagination. Whatever gifts God has put into you, that's what you give out, right? And she has, again, a phenomenal woman. And I know it ain't easy, but I wanted to give her the opportunity to say. And then to the girlies who are waiting in line, who are preparing for love, one of the best things you can do while you do that is make sure you are your best self, whether you get married or not. Being able to fully see God's promises in your life, period, that's a blessing in of itself. So having a life partner, a companion is a plus, okay? And then not to mention, the Bible says when they marry you, they get favor from the Lord. So girl, you all that already. Just make sure, make sure we're doing our part. God is always doing his part. Make sure we're doing our part. Love is still possible for you at any age, any stage. Prepare for it. Be open for it, okay? And invite it into your life. This has been Mental Health Mondays. Thank y'all. I ain't gonna even talk about it, but I'm still working on getting my facilitator fee taken care of, but I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna do something else. Thank y'all for coming. Share this live. Remember, the replay will be available on my YouTube channel. So if you are not following me on YouTube yet, you should get to doing that. All right. Y'all have a good night.